Hello, yes, Abraham.
We look a lot alike.
I've been taught through many years, prior to having a wonderful experience with your teachings, that my true consciousness never moves, and being naturally quiet is the perfect witness. That's what I call like a static aspect of consciousness. You're teaching us a dynamic aspect. That's a whole lot of fun.
Well, if there's not a dynamic aspect of consciousness, then there is not eternal consciousness. We're just saying, because nothing stands still.
So there's nothing in us that's non-vibrational?
There's nothing in anything that's non-vibrational.
That's very direct.
Yeah.
I've been having a wonderful experience with my counseling practice, with your teachings, and I'm having a phenomenal result with people. And where I seem to have some split energy, one of my visions was that some of the people I would teach would go out, form their own practice, form their own groups. Now, some of the people have done that, and I want them to have their personal experience with the growth of a fellowship around them. I feel it's important to have a fellowship around us as we practice this material.
Well, we think that that's looking outside of yourself for the appreciation that you need rather than within. And that once you discover, once you know this alignment and you're able to guide another to the knowing of it, then you're not looking around for groups to buoy you up or appreciate you.
Or fellowship?
Well, fellowship, it's fun to play with people, but don't look for support in others. They'll let you down every time.
Yeah, they do. So they invite me to their sessions.
Yeah.
And I'm wanting the leadership to have their experience and their growth the way I did.
Well, we get what you're talking about, and we think all of that is lovely, and it will happen organically and naturally. But the most important thing that we want to say to all of you is that life is your workshop, and all of the people that you are co-creating with are bringing you all of the feedback that you need. And once you understand a few basics, then life will bring you the information. And so it's fun to get back together and tune up a little bit. It's fun to get back together and remind each other what really matters. It's fun to get back together and find that centered place where your point of attraction is sort of shored up. But we really can't give it to you both ways. We can't say to you that source is flowing to each and every one of you and it's all around you, but you need to get together in some group in order to access it. Because you are all individually receivers of this powerful stream, permeating, constant, never-ending, unconditional well-being.
But I seem to have some resistance then, that the composite of the energy in a group, for example, some of it's very high and very happy, some of it's very low. And I feel if I take myself out, that they would make better progress. It'd be like Abraham showing up for the groups you've started, the meetup groups and so forth, and people comparing themselves. And
well, the advantage that we bring to a room is that we dominate the energy. In other words, we're tuned in, tapped in, turned on.
That's true.
And so it doesn't matter really what else is going on in the room. That is a dominant thing that's going on. And you can provide that for groups as well. But this is the conversation that we have with so many teachers and healers. So it's sort of, this is the belief that you have active within you. It goes sort of like this. So I've tapped in and I am now providing a stream of well-being that others are benefiting from. And that feels good because you're an uplifter and a teacher to the very core of your being. But then it doesn't feel so good when you then say, but I need to keep my attention upon them. I need a steady hand in all of this. Otherwise, it sort of slips away. And what we want to say to you is, we've got a steady hand in it. In other words, Source has that. And so sometimes a healer has a sort of misunderstanding of what's going on. It's not that you're taking the energy and asserting it in some meaningful way. It's that you, in your understanding of alignment, you're providing a resistance-free atmosphere that allows the energy to flow in a more obvious way so that it's more apparent maybe to others, you see. Don't worry about it. When we tell you can't get it wrong and you never get it done, there is nothing that we ever say to you that we mean more emphatically than that. And sometimes you make things up in order to get something that you really want, like freedom. You see, you don't have to justify leaving them on their own to figure it out. They'll figure it out, or they won't figure it out. And sometimes in not figuring it out, you figured it out. You follow?
You're very smart.
We have the benefit of having infinite intelligence at our fingertips. And you do as well. And you do as well.
Thank you so much.
Enough?
I love you. Thank you.